Hey, how's it going, everybody? As you recall, I've been working on this water line, bringing water out to the goats from the house, and I came out really early today with the help of this guy because it's been 95 and really sunny every day. I've been working on this for 3 days, and I want to wrap it up, and man, it's getting hot and tired work. Just to remind you, I've already trenched and I've started installing the line. This was in my last video. And now what I've got to do is actually make the water line connection to the goat pasture. So here's a good place for the water line hose spigot. And what I did was I put a T right here. I'm going to come across with a straight pipe and then put this stand pipe sort of like this on the inside and then attach my hose bib. So let me go ahead and glue this together and we'll go on the inside and show you how I actually connect the hose bib. This I had to trench by hand because you cannot get a rented trencher underneath the fence, or you can't get it in these tight spots like this. And that's been a lot of work. Sometimes I use this trenching shovel, sometimes I have to use an axe and a mattock even to get through that duct. As you can see, it kind of rained last night and it's very foggy this morning. So I made sure everything is dried off and as clean as possible before I apply this PVC cement. So this is going to be the elbow for what I call the standpipe. And then this is going to be our standpipe. Now, I've measured it about 4 feet high. You can do whatever height you want. And now I'm going to slip this under here. Again, trying to keep the ends as clean as possible. Okay. And you can see I actually tied a bag around this one just to make sure that I keep it nice and dry. All right, now comes the most tricky part, which is I've got to get this into the T and I've got to stand up the other side straight up. And you've only got a few seconds to work. This is a view from inside the goat pasture, obviously. And what I've got is my standpipe, an elbow, basically an extension, and then a T going into the main water line. And so why don't we go ahead and stabilize this and then put the hose bib on top. When I say stabilize the pipe, I mean to keep the goats from pressing it over and to keep any damage from occurring to the pipe. And this is a U post. So this is not a T post. It's shaped like a U or a shallow V. And I put the hollow part against the pipe and then pound it in. You want to drive your T-post far enough down that the coupling's not going to interfere with this. And look at how nice and snug this fits inside. So I'm going to tie it against there with some of this vinyl covered wire. If you don't know what this is, it's in the garden supply shop, used for tethering tomatoes, etc. But basically it works really well for applications like this, and the goats can't really chew it. All right, these have these little tabs on the back, just for catching wire. So I bring this around here, and it's kind of like a twist tie. And we can use pliers to tighten it up even more. And then on the back side, you can actually bend it, and that helps hold everything in here nice and snug. And I'll bend this down. That should be pretty good. I've got a couple of those on the standpipe. Finally, we come to the hose bib. This is a solid brass, 1 inch threaded at the bottom to 3/4 inch threaded for the garden hose. And then I've got a 1 inch adapter. So this is going to go from the standpipe to some male threads that'll fit inside this fitting. Now, instead of gluing this on and then twisting this brass valve on, I'm going to apply the brass valve to this so that it's stationary, so that I don't over twist this. You know what I mean? Like if I had that stationary and I twisted this too far, it might be facing the wrong way. So I'm going to connect these. Now you can either use pipe dope or you can use Teflon tape. I'm going to use Teflon tape. You really don't need pliers. They say hand tight for this. Over tightening is actually too much. With the Teflon tape, you pull out a bunch. You want it nice and flat. You get it started on some of these threads. Okay, we want a nice thick layer going all the way to the top. I like a nice thick layer of Teflon tape, and it fills the space between the threads. Okay, so you put the male end into the female end, start twisting it. And when they say hand tight, you might want to use pliers, but you can always tighten it more later. I like to just do hand tight. Okay, that's hand tight. Now I'm gonna put PVC glue here, stick it onto the top, and once I test the water, I might need to tighten this. But again, based on experience, don't over tighten this. It will leak then. Push it all the way down, give it about a quarter turn, face it the direction you want. All right, I can't wait to have water out here.